Hello and welcome back to Unrendered. I am Tony Regisford and I'm sitting with Mr. Steve Maximay from Trinidad and Tobago. He is the founder of Science-Based Initiatives. Steve, welcome to St.Vincent and welcome to Unrendered.
Well, thank you. I haven't been welcome to St.Vincent in a while. I consider myself a native, so that people hardly welcome me to St.Vincent.
Okay.
They tell me, welcome back home.
Okay.
But I'll allow you to get away with that for now.
Tell us, Steve, you're the founder of SBI, Science-Based Initiatives. What exactly is this organization?
It's a consulting firm. I started thinking about going into private practice, as it were, while I was employed at the Agricultural Development Bank in Trinidad. And then subsequently, while I was teaching at the University of the West Indies in St. Augustine, I kept telling students year after year of all these opportunities in the private sector. And it dawned on me one day that at some point, one of these students are going to ask me, if there are so many opportunities out there, what are you doing in here teaching still? You know? And eventually in 2003, I made the move and I founded this company. It's a part of a wider holding company called Plan Pro Associates. But Science-Based Initiatives is really a consulting arm of it. And our tagline is that we influence the fate of the Caribbean, where FATE stands for food, agriculture, tourism, and environment. So those are the 4 areas I tend to work in.
So there's definitely a strong base in terms of agriculture. That's been your training as well?
Primarily my background, yes. My first degree is in agriculture. I'm a plant pathologist by training.
Okay.
And I drifted into development banking. I was head of the farm management and training unit at the Agricultural Development Bank in Trinidad for a number of years. And it dawned on me that the solutions to the problems in agriculture aren't limited to one discipline.
Okay.
So I shifted from strict plant pathology and crop protection and got into development financing and a whole host of other things. And eventually it took me into the University of the West Indies, where I ran the first business office in a science faculty in UWI. Oh, and that is where the shift towards, I suppose, the private sector came.
Now, if we stick with the agricultural sector, how do we get young people interested in this sector?
Okay, this is a question I've been asked, I mean, from when I was young, which was considerable time ago, as you can tell. But we have always had this complaint, a legitimate complaint, that the age of our farming population, it's always been over 50. It's always been over 50, over 60, and in some parts of the Caribbean, sometimes over 65. And one of the first ways I sought to address that was back in 1991. I wrote a book on careers in agriculture, because I genuinely believe that there were possible careers in agriculture that the majority of the population, especially young people, about to make that choice after choosing their subjects in Form 3. What are they going to do? What is this agriculture thing about? And how broad is it? And as we continue talking, we'll probably have an opportunity to look at the real scope of agriculture. Agriculture is not only about farming per se, although that is important and it's a very, very useful activity. But there are so many other careers adjunct to farming, actual farming, that are involved in agriculture as a career path.
So some of the career opportunities, for example, that you can impress upon youths that reside within this agriculture sector would be what?
Okay, well, I mean, it's actually from A to Z, from agronomist to zoologist.
Right.
If we think in terms of the various aspects of agriculture, there's a production base, which most people are familiar with. They think farming, they think raising livestock, etc. There's a service base in terms of the marketing, because it makes no sense if you consider agriculture only the production of the food at the farm gate and not how it's going to be consumed, how it's going to be used, etc. So there are service provisions, there are careers along the service path, whether you're going to be a veterinarian, a plant pathologist, or what have you, providing those services. Marketing. Now, we can add the non-food aspects of agriculture, because you would appreciate that not everything that is grown under the rubric of agriculture is going to be used for food. So we have the purely cosmetic, if you like, the landscaping, the flowers and beautification generally.
Yes.
And now you have also the possibility for industrial uses of the agricultural produce. So you have cocoon oil, you have a whole lot of palm oils and so that aren't edible oils, but they are oils that are used in industry, etc. Off camera, we were talking about some of the more microscopic entities. Right. I was telling you that in Trinidad, for example, in our marine industries, and so we have accidental emptying of bilges, and so bilge pumps being used indiscriminately, and we have the technology for bioremediation where you actually use living material to literally eat up all the pollutants. Right. So as I said, there are a whole range of opportunities, and I think we limit ourselves and we limit our young people when we let them think that agriculture is primarily or solely about growing something for food. But as important as that is, don't get me wrong, that is very important, but there are so many.
You come from the angle of being a consultant now. You taught the subject at the university and now you have your consultancy firm. How impactful have your services been across the region? Because I'm assuming that you traverse the region. And are you seeing significant shifts in terms of the orientation of people's thinking along the lines of agriculture?
Okay, I've been lucky, if you consider luck to be opportunity meeting preparedness, I've been lucky over the years to have worked in every CARICOM country. Right. From Haiti, I worked in Suriname even before they were a member of CARICOM, and so I can speak with a fair amount of authority in terms of what the landscape looks like in each of these countries. There has been a shift. You're finding more young, better educated people getting into this sector in various little sub-disciplines. So there are areas like protected agriculture, what we would call in this part of the Caribbean greenhouse farming and that type of thing. At the biotechnological end, at the marketing end, where people have built businesses on moving material along the value chain. Because that is something I feel very passionately about. I've written about this whole concept of value chains and adding value, getting people to realize that the price that you will get at your farm gate for dasheen with 2 inches of mud on it will not be the same as what you will get if you were to scrub it off, slice it, etc., etc., etc. And the fact that as you add value along this chain, money is being made. Now, I know colleagues like people like Jethro Green and so understand the need for the producers to control a lot more of that value chain. And right here in St. Vincent and Grenadines, you have the Vinci cluster, which is an agro-processing cluster, which shows that you can earn more along the value chain. I have suggested, and it's been suggested by other people as well, obviously, that we should look at value chains as being looped value chains. No longer should we be thinking about what happens to the produce until it gets to the table. So it's not from farm to fork, it's from farm to farm. We should be concerned about what happens to the so-called scraps, the waste material. How are we going to compost it? How are we going to loop that value chain to make sure that all that we have spent money in producing is being utilized? And that is significant, not only in terms of the producers earning more, but as we come to talk more about the impact of global warming and climate change and the fact that people are concerned about packaging material, how much packaging material you use, we will find that as we try to export material out of the region, people are going to be putting us under pressure in terms of what type of packaging material you use, whether it came from a sustainable forest, the whole,
that sort of thing. Because then you're introducing the concept here now of something green. And green in the terms of environmental deference, right? Deference to the environment. Now, let's then talk about organic farming. Now, where are the opportunities here?
Okay, the organic route is a niche market. It's a very lucrative one, but it is one that requires monitoring and it's expensive to get into it. Now, I know that there are people looking at this program now who say, but I've been going organic all my life. Now, pesticide-free is not organic. There are particularly stringent rules in terms of what constitutes organic. So you can have an organic operation downhill from somebody who's using chemical uphill, and you wouldn't be able to sell that in the US or anywhere else where it's being monitored because it's still
under the influence.
It's still under the influence.
Yeah.
So that I'm very, very wary about promoting organic without people understanding the full implications of it, the length of time it takes for certification, etc., etc. Yeah. What I do promote is sustainable agriculture, pesticide-free agriculture, low impact, low input chemicals, that type of thing.
Would it be fair to say that pesticide-free agriculture is non-chemical agriculture?
Non-chemical agriculture. Well, it's not always non-chemical because sometimes you're using inorganic fertilizers. You see, they are very, very specific. The people who are the very strict organic people, you can't use manufactured fertilizers.
Now, there seems to be a move, and we're going to stick with organic or organic context of agriculture. Yeah. There seems to be a move worldwide, actually, heightening of people's awareness of the use of chemicals and the bad that it does to the human body, basically. Yeah. We see, well, it certainly would appear to the layman without empirical evidence, and I'm sure the empirical evidence is there, the rise of cancerous type illnesses. We've seen that among
some of these chemicals have been shown to be carcinogenic. That is a fact, yes.
Right. Yeah. And there's definitely a shift in people's awareness. Yet, we seem to be taking a long time to catch up with this.
And there are reasons for that. And the reason is just the sheer impact of the weight of numbers. Yeah. The thing is that we need to be fed now, today. And it is not always possible, I want to be very clear about it, it's not always possible to make that radical shift from so-called conventional agriculture, where one is using chemicals made from fossil fuels, which is something else we'll talk about in a little while, hopefully. But the sheer magnitude of the problem, the fact that people have to be fed today, you can't really have the horse starving while the grass is growing. So that the shift, this radical shift, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. This radical shift to organic. What I think is going to continue, which has started already, is that there's going to be a gradual weaning, as it were, away from strict chemical use and conventional agriculture to more sustainable, more traditional, because traditional is coming back, Right. All of these fancy terms that we scientists are coining now about ways of operating and mulching and all that. I mean, our grandparents used the same principles. Steve, before we got bright.
We're at the end of our first segment. When we come back, I want to pick up this whole thing about traditional farming techniques, and I want us to get into that when we come back. Yeah. You're looking at Unrendered, and my guest is Mr. Steve Maximay. More with Mr. Maximay when we come back.